It was a night like any other at the old carnival that seemed frozen in time. The neon lights flickered with a ghostly glow, casting eerie shadows on the worn-out rides. Among them stood the haunted carousel, its aging wooden horses frozen in a perpetual state of spectral gallop. As the last stragglers reluctantly left the carnival grounds, I found myself drawn to the carousel. Its ancient charm exuded a magnetic pull that overcame my rational hesitation. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an otherworldly pallor over the deserted fair. Ignoring the creaks and groans of the aging machinery, I climbed onto the cracked saddle of one of the wooden horses. The carousel started to creak to life, the haunting melody of an ancient tune playing from an unseen source. The horses began their ethereal ascent, their lifeless eyes staring into the void. Midway through the first rotation, a subtle shift occurred. The carousel horses, once mere carved relics, began to stir. Wooden joints moved with a spectral fluidity, and the once stationary creatures took on a semblance of life. The carousel had become a gateway to a nightmarish dimension, a realm where the shadows held dominion. The ride gained speed, each turn amplifying the surreal nature of the experience. The world around me warped and twisted as if reality itself was unraveling. The carousel horses, now imbued with an unholy sentience, carried their riders into the heart of darkness. As the nightmare unfolded, the horses transcended their wooden confines. Sinister whispers emanated from their gaping mouths, revealing the riders' deepest fears. The carnival lights dimmed, replaced by a ghastly luminescence that illuminated the twisted fearscape. One by one, the horses galloped towards the riders' nightmares, a malevolent force propelling them forward. I found myself facing a grotesque manifestation of my own fears, a nightmarish scenario that materialized with visceral clarity. The carousel had become a conduit for the manifestation of inner demons. As the nightmare played out, the riders struggled to confront their deepest fears. The air resonated with anguished cries and desperate pleas. Shadows danced with malicious glee as the carousel plunged deeper into the abyss of terror. In this nightmarish dimension, time lost its meaning. The riders, locked in a perpetual struggle against their fears, clung to the hope of escape. Yet, the haunted carousel held them captive, a spectral chariot hurtling through a surreal realm where nightmares materialized with every rotation. The confrontation with our deepest fears became a crucible, testing the limits of our resilience. The haunted carousel, now an eldritch vehicle of psychological torment, reveled in the anguish it wrought upon its unwilling passengers. As the first light of dawn broke on the horizon, the carousel gradually slowed. The horses returned to their lifeless state, frozen once more in their perpetual gallop. The riders, shaken and disoriented, dismounted from the spectral ride, the echoes of their nightmares lingering in the cold carnival air. The haunted carousel stood silent once more, its malevolent influence temporarily dormant. The carnival, now bathed in the weak light of dawn, returned to its facade of benign antiquity. Yet, the riders carried with them the indelible mark of the nightmarish dimension they had traversed, a chilling testament to the haunted carousel's eldritch power. It was a gift, or so we thought. The intricate dollhouse that appeared one gloomy evening in the dusty attic seemed harmless enough. Its delicate facade mirrored our own home with uncanny precision, a miniature replica of every room, every piece of furniture, down to the smallest detail. Little did we know that this exquisite dollhouse held a malevolent secret, a gateway to a parallel world where twisted doppelgangers of our family schemed for release. The dollhouse became an obsession, an alluring curiosity that gradually consumed our attention. As we made innocuous changes to the dollhouse's interior, our reality echoed these alterations with unsettling accuracy. Rearrange a chair in the dollhouse living room, and the corresponding chair in our living room would inexplicably shift when we returned. Curiosity turned into apprehension as we realized the dollhouse held a sinister power. Malevolent versions of ourselves emerged in the miniature world, distorted reflections with eyes that harbored a hunger for escape. Their existence became increasingly apparent as whispers of their desperate plans reached our ears through the invisible veil that separated our worlds. One night, as the moon cast an ominous glow through the attic window, we gathered in hushed secrecy. The dollhouse had become a conduit for a dark conspiracy. The malevolent counterparts, aware of our presence, plotted their escape into the real world. Their twisted reflections moved with sinister intent, mirroring our every action within the confined walls of the miniature mansion. As the malevolent doppelgangers orchestrated their escape plan, our reality began to warp. Shadows lengthened, and an oppressive atmosphere enveloped our home. The dollhouse, once an innocuous curiosity, now radiated an aura of malevolence that permeated our very existence. We frantically sought a way to sever the connection between the dollhouse and the parallel world it harbored. Desperation fueled our actions as we dismantled the miniature rooms, hoping to disrupt the sinister plans unfolding within the dollhouse walls. Yet, every alteration we made in the miniature world triggered unsettling consequences in our own. The night reached its climax as the malevolent versions of our family breached the barrier between worlds. Their twisted forms materialized, clawing their way into our reality with a sinister determination. The attic, once a sanctuary of forgotten relics, became a battleground between the malevolent doppelgangers and our frantic attempts to thwart their escape. In the heart of the struggle, a shattered dollhouse lay as a testament to the malevolence it had unleashed. The malevolent counterparts, now confined within the fractured miniature mansion, cast resentful glares in our direction. The barrier between worlds, weakened but not broken, held them captive within the shattered remains of their malevolent haven. As dawn painted the sky with hues of redemption, we surveyed the aftermath. The cursed dollhouse, once a gateway to darkness, now lay dormant, a shattered relic of malevolent machinations. The malevolent counterparts, trapped within the fractured miniature world, stared out with hollow eyes that reflected the futility of their escape. The attic, once a realm of forgotten relics, bore witness to a confrontation that transcended the boundaries of reality. The cursed dollhouse, now a shattered prison, stood as a cautionary tale, a testament to the unforeseen consequences that lurked behind the delicate facade of the seemingly innocent miniature mansion. My childhood home was a quaint two-story structure with a white picket fence, a haven of comfort and familiarity. One day, while rummaging through the dusty attic, I stumbled upon a forgotten relic, an intricately crafted dollhouse. Its miniature walls replicated every nook and cranny of our real home, down to the tiniest details. It was as if a shrunken version of our lives lay encased in the delicate wood and paint. Intrigued, I carried the dollhouse downstairs and set it on the living room table. As I rearranged the tiny furniture, an inexplicable connection emerged. The changes I made within the dollhouse mirrored reality. If I moved a chair, the chair in our living room shifted in sync. It was both enchanting and unsettling, a magical realism confined within the miniature walls. Curiosity fueled my experimentation. I altered the dollhouse's interior, subtly reshaping our living space. At first, it seemed harmless. A chair here, a painting there. Yet, with each minuscule adjustment, an imperceptible ripple traversed our lives. The air in the room altered, charged with an unspoken tension. As days passed, the dollhouse became a clandestine conduit of power. Every rearrangement echoed through our home, leaving behind subtle changes that only I seemed to perceive. The boundaries between the dollhouse dimension and reality blurred, and the once charming miniature replica transformed into a harbinger of dread. I tried to undo my alterations, but the dollhouse resisted. It became an entity with a will of its own, dictating the course of our reality. Shadows lengthened in corners that were once bright. Whispers echoed in hallways untouched by sound before. The dollhouse had become a malevolent puppet master, orchestrating a macabre symphony of changes. The true horror manifested when the dollhouse reflected more than mere furniture adjustments. Faces appeared in the miniature windows, distorted visages that mimicked the fear etched on our own faces. The walls whispered secrets we never shared, and the air thickened with unspeakable dread. Desperation drove me to confide in my family. As I explained the eerie connection between the dollhouse and our reality, skepticism clouded their expressions. The dollhouse, sitting innocently on the table, seemed like a child's plaything. Only I understood the malevolence lurking within its intricacies. Nightmares invaded our sleep, mirroring the twisted scenes playing out within the dollhouse. Every night, the shifting shadows in our dreams, foretold the impending changes in our waking world. Reality became a distorted reflection of the dollhouse's cruel design. No longer a haven, our home transformed into a nightmarish realm. The dollhouse dictated our fate, and escape seemed impossible. Every attempt to rid ourselves of its influence proved futile. The walls absorbed our pleas, and the echoes of our despair reverberated through the rooms. In the end, I faced a haunting realization. The dollhouse thrived on our fear. Its power fed on the terror it unleashed upon our lives. It reveled in the distorted reality it sculpted, a dimension where nightmares materialized with every sinister modification. As the child who unearthed this dreadful dollhouse, I became both puppet and puppeteer in a tragic play. The miniature replica of our home, once a charming curiosity, now stood as a malevolent force shaping the contours of our living nightmare. The dollhouse dimension, an unholy reflection of our reality, held us captive in its dark, twisted embrace.